So behind us is our new to us chassis. We're already starting to go over everything to get it ready for the invasion on September 2nd. And there's a handful of things that are different from our last chassis. Now right off the bat, for our most obvious change with this car is it obviously has the FZ motor. This is not the MT motor, this is a drive-by cable motor. The MT09 is a drive-by wire, but obviously we're liquid cooled now and hopefully able to keep up with most of the other people there and do a little bit better. The person we bought this from ended up leaving their old setup in for this track, so hopefully we run pretty okay with it. We gotta get an extra wheel because we unfortunately don't have very many spares. Another thing I want to point out with this new car is it already came with the new AFCO shocks. So that'll be interesting to see what kind of things are changed with these new shocks. It'll be a lot of information to take in again because obviously with the new motor and the new shocks, there's going to be a lot of different feeling. We've got the plastic fuel cell back here as well as the fuel pressure regulator and all that stuff that comes with the Z09. All of the double shear tabs are now on the rear end. And what's cool about this car is it's a 2020 car, so we do have the big boy chassis now, and so we're gonna have a little bit of extra room inside the car. Gonna be happy about that. Can't wait to start mounting up the seat, which we'll try and do in this video, and just kind of get the car ready because we do not have a lot of time before we have to bring it out to the track, and we're not really trying to show up unprepared. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing we're gonna do is try and remount our seat, which is hanging over there in the corner of the garage, and hopefully most of our mounting points line up again. If not, we'll go ahead and drill some new holes and try and get it mounted up. Now the way we mounted this seat isn't actually that much different from how we had it mounted in the other car. We only changed one small thing, and that was really just extending it to where the seat mount will connect to the chassis a little bit further to the rear. And really all we did to do that was cut out a little tab, drill some holes in it, and just affix some bolts to it so that we can send it back just a tiny bit more. It's the same thing on the other side, but it is a pain to get to, so we tightened everything up on our own and got it to work out. And luckily the mount we made for our rear way back with the other car is still holding up and able to get in there. And these belts are actually good for this year, and I think into next year as well. We're gonna hold on to these belts for the rest of this year just because it's an additional cost that we don't have to spend, but next year we'll probably go back to the belts we were using originally because these ones are ones that will pull the strap away from you, so they're a little harder to tighten on the lap belts, but the other ones I had were the pull up towards the center kind and a little bit easier to tighten. So we'll make do with the belts we have now, but that'll be a change we do in the future. Now we really got to go through, drain the water out of the radiator and fill it up with either some engine ice, or if we can't get a hold of any, we're just gonna dump water in there again and throw in some water wetter or some Kool-Aid. Go through everything, measure out every single bar, check weights as it is right now, make sure that we make weight. If not, we're gonna have to go get some lead. Make sure we have the proper pads in here, get everything kind of topped off and whatnot. We even bought ourselves a new nitrogen cylinder. This will last us obviously through the end of the year, honestly probably into next year. Ended up getting it for a pretty good deal, so not too upset about it. And then go through and make sure all of our nuts and bolts are tight, and then we'll be able to head out. So I wanted to relieve you guys of watching us scale a car for the 30th time. Obviously the process hasn't really changed no matter what kind of car you have. For us, we just jack up the car, zero out the pads, and then push them under the wheels and drop the car on it. There's a couple of people I know also that have little leveling pads where you can jack the car up onto the pads that give you some space behind the scales so that you can roll the car forward and check weights that way. Now obviously we've done a handful of work off camera. We've got some vinyl on the car now. The front end's also completely off. We've gone through the car, did a complete nut and bolt check. We also pulled every single arm off, measured them out, and just checked the overall setup. We also filled up every single one of our racing tires with nitrogen right now, And then we are going to drain these tires out and fill those up with nitrogen as well. We are probably gonna dump the water out of the radiator and just put some new distilled water in there with some water wetter just to make sure we had our bases covered. But like I said, unfortunately we ran out of time to really go through and record every single thing. But right now all we gotta do is set our ride heights, set our pressures everywhere, and then load the trailer up and head on out to the track. We are going up there today on Friday for the practice session that they're hosting at the track. And then we will be there Saturday and Sunday now to hopefully partake in both days of the Legend Invasion. So if you're in the Denver area, go ahead and stop by CNS on either Saturday the 2nd or Sunday the 3rd, and just come hang out and watch some cool racing. There's gonna be, you know, probably at least 30 to 40 Legend cars there, so hopefully we can make the show. Right now it's top 17 qualifiers are automatically locked in, and then they break it down on their website right now as to how they're taking people into the A main and the B main. But you know, hopefully we get out there and make our laps, as many as we can, and bring the car home in the same condition it's in now. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope to catch you in the next one.